Right shoulder, hard. Forward, hard. Go left. Go left. Go left. Right, left. Go left. Go left. Go left. Right, left.
In a celebrity-obsessed culture where there's shows like Dancing with the Stars and American Idol that generate large followings, it's important to remember just who the real stars of America are. Commentator Ben Stein wrote several years ago, the real star in the U.S. The real star is the U.S. soldier who was sent to disarm that bomb next to the road in North Baghdad. He approached it, and the bomb went off and it killed him. A real star, the kind who haunts my memories night and day, is the U.S. soldier in Baghdad who saw a little girl playing with a piece of unexploded ordnance on the street near the station when she was guarding. He pushed her aside and threw himself on it just as it exploded. And, that soldier left his family in California, but left the little girl alive in Baghdad. Veterans Day is a time to honor not just the heroes that Mr. Stein described, but in fact, all the outstanding men and women who served in our nation's armed forces since the founding more than 234 years ago. President Calvin Coolidge, known as Silent Cal, because he didn't say very much, but it was positively profound when he said, "A nation which forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten." Not all veterans have seen war, but a common bond that they share is an oath in which expresses their willingness to die defending the nation. Perhaps the most significant in preserving our way of life are the battles that America does not fight because of those who wish us harm, slink away in fear because of a Coast Guard cutter, or the Navy aircraft carrier, or the Army soldier on patrol. They have heard stories of great American heroes like the late Jack Lucas, who earned a Medal of Honor fighting on Iwo Jima at age 17. Although he lied about his age to enlist in the Marine Corps, his family, friends, and classmates were properly awestruck when he enrolled in high school after World War II, already possessing the nation's highest military decoration. The valor that defined warriors from previous generations continues on today. Thousands of people lined the streets of Fitzgerald, Georgia on October 6 to pay tribute to Senior Airman Michael Bruas, a member of the Air Force Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team. Airman Bruas made the supreme sacrifice on September 21st in Kandahar, Afghanistan. He died at age 23 because of wounds inflicted by an IED. He leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old daughter. We must be there to support not just the families of the fallen, but also the loved ones of those still deployed and those who returned permanently changed by the wounds of war. While we are happy to be here today to express our appreciation to our veterans, true appreciation is expressed through deeds and not words. If you are an employer, give extra weight to the experience and skills of a sailor-turned-job applicant. Veterans' preference is a requirement for government jobs, but it is also smart business for private sector as well. When an American Legion auxiliary member asks you for a donation for a poppy, remember the Korean War veteran in the hospital bed. When a member of Congress complains about the cost of a veterans program, remind that lawmaker of the cost of being a veteran. Don't underestimate the power of simply saying thank you to veterans that you encounter. There are approximately 23 million living Americans who have earned the title, including those who continue to serve in uniform. It is tragic that men and women who allow us to be safe in our homes are often without homes themselves when they shed their uniforms. 23% of American homeless population are veterans. 89% of these homeless veterans were honorably discharged, and 47% served during the Vietnam War. America's veterans have made great sacrifices for their country. Those costs have often included long separations from their family, missing the births of their children, freezing in sub-zero temperatures, exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam, losing limbs, and far too often losing their lives. While America owes these heroes a debt that cannot be fully repaid, showing our appreciation is the least that we can do. According to a recent U.S. Army statistics, more than 665,000 active duty soldiers have deployed for a year of combat on the global war on terrorism, and nearly 300,000 of these active duty soldiers have been deployed twice or more. The Department of Defense recently estimated that nearly 40,000 U.S. service personnel have been wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan since the hostilities began. And while the military is undoubtedly stretched thin and the burden is shared by men and women, women are the major contributors in our military presence in Iraq and Afghanistan, and many have given their lives in the war on terrorism. The VA must recognize the unique needs of our women veterans. They need to adequately treat breast cancer and cervical cancer, as well as trauma that has resulted from domestic violence, sexual harassment, and assault. America is home to 1.2 million women veterans and deserve our support. The American Legion National Commander, Jimmy Foster, calls on members of the American Legion to be saved. That's SAVED. That stands for Serving America's Veterans Every Day. Whether it's welcoming veterans home from a deployment or volunteering at a local VA hospital, there's no shortages of opportunities to assist those who have given so much for their country. In spite of the sacrifices that nearly all veterans have made and the horrors that some of them have experienced, an overwhelming majority are proud that they have served. 19th century British philosopher John Stuart Mill summed up the necessity of this special group of people, and he wrote, "War is an ugly thing, but it is not the ugliest of things. The decayed state of morale and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. The person who has nothing for which he is willing to fight, nothing which he is more important than his own personal safety, is a miserable creature and has no chance of being free unless made and kept so by the exertions of people better men than themselves." I think Mill had it right. Unfortunately for most of us, America has been blessed throughout its history with such men and women. I'd like to thank you all for being here. God bless America and God bless our veterans.
To the oceans, white with foam.